So I call him like, hey, I'm going to be showing your condo this weekend. Please let the building know that I'm going to be coming through. He goes, I'm going to leave you the key fob so you can have access to all the amenities. So here I am getting ready for my show.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
And that's what it should be, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, no. Welcome to my nightmare. I get up there. I'm so excited. Open the door. I'm like, and I walked, literally, I did a double take. I walked out and I looked at the apartment and I'm thinking, well, the key's working, but am I in the same condo?
What?
And then I started saying hello, calling his name, thinking, oh my gosh, did he oversleep? Like it's a 10
Oh my
o'clock.
God, is he dead?
Is he here? I started opening up. And then as I started opening up, I'm looking around going, okay, let me see what else I need to do. And I'm like, wait, what?
No.
Like, did he have a party here last night?
No.
Let me go to the bathroom.
Oh no. Oh no.
And then I'm like starting to walk. There were condoms everywhere. Condoms in the bathtub, on the floor.
In the bathtub?
In the bathtub.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Behind the Lockbox. I'm Stephanie Zalowski here with
Cameron Barbier.
Today. I'm very excited about this guest because we have been planning this for quite a while. Yeah. We have Betty Tashakorian with us.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome. So Betty is an agent. I get very proud of myself when I say the whole name with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, California Properties. I mean, I got that down, right? I know. I actually I've said this so many times. I've copy and pasted it from when Matt Tovey came on our second episode. And I just like,
I have to copy and paste it when I do the contracts. I'm like, oh my gosh.
You're like, I'm just going to have this in my notes app, like, you know, Compass.
Long. Imagine we have to do that on 76 pages.
No way. And you know what? When we were at Sotheby's, it was Pacific Sotheby's International Realty. It was almost just as bad. Anyway, she is the fearless team leader of the Tosh team, an incredible interior designer, mom to two beautiful twin girls, and a gem to do deals with. And I would know because I've done a deal with her. Betty, welcome to Behind the Lockbox.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. I've been wanting to do this with you for a while. We just like not connected.
No, it's tough. Like scheduling is hard. It's really hard and stuff comes up and you can't get out of it and it is what it is. But I texted you a few weeks ago now. We've had this plan for like a month and I was like, and then she called me like, gosh, was it like a week and a half ago? And she's like, can we talk about what? And I'm like, yes, let's talk about it. And so then when you came in before we started recording, we were chatting a little bit about the stories you have. And I'm pretty pumped for them because, you know, sometimes people are like, I don't know what to talk about.
I just didn't know if this is rated R or
it's rated R.
If it's PG.
And by the way, if you cuss, like with the only cuss word I bleep out is the F word, and I'm the biggest offender of it. So like, if you let it fly, because I can bleep you out.
Sorry. Sometimes it flies out without.
I mean, but that's why you're my people because we see each other and we're like, oh, this business, you know, whatever it might be. Yeah. So okay. Where do you want to start? I think you should just start with the first one we were initially talking about.
Okay. So that's the downtown.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
Paint us a picture, Betty.
Oh God.
You had this listing downtown.
I had this listing downtown. And of course, you know, when you're going to a listing presentation, you're going to go to the property itself.
Yeah.
You're gonna see what it is, what it's, you know, so you get a walkthrough and
lay of the land, you meet the seller,
and
all of it.
Kind of get an idea of why he's selling and all the good stuff.
For sure.
So I walk in and it's Little Italy. I think it was a trio
best part of downtown.
Yeah. Beautiful building. Condo, great condo unit. Beautiful views. And I'm thinking, wow, this unit is really great. This is going to sell really fast.
Yeah.
So I was excited.
Like, was it like husband and wife?
No,
single
he
girl,
was a single. He was a bachelor.
Okay.
Bachelor.
So real. I know. Well,
yeah,
I
bachelor.
don't know. I feel like Betty might have a weird story from how she started talking about it, so we'll see. Is he still single, Betty? Do I want to? I don't know. Betty's like, no.
No, who knows? And I really don't want to know, to be honest with you.
Okay, maybe we won't set you up.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Not a setup stuff. No.
Betty, we got to find me somebody.
Okay. Well,
I need you to have to talk. Vince Crudo is supposed to be working on this, and
Vince, what the hell are you waiting? What are you waiting for?
This is your camera back here. Tell him.
It's been months since he said he would perform. Vince has been
sitting on his hands, and he said that he is like the master of setting people up.
Well, we're gonna have to come after you.
Yeah. We need to have a chat with him, Betty. Okay. Chat. Anyway, I digress. Go ahead.
But this was. I thought, wow, this is gonna be a slam dunk.
Yeah.
Because at the time, that was like the hottest building downtown.
Don't you love when you think that? You're like, oh, I'm so naive. It's going to be so easy to sell.
It's so easy, yeah. Right.
Famous last words.
The biggest nightmare of my life.
No.
Yes. I mean, seriously, I was so excited. I get a call. I'm going to go to a showing. I call the seller. I was like, hey.
And how soon was it? Where you were like, I knew it in a couple days later?
Literally 4 days into it.
Oh my God. You're like,
4
see?
days into it.
Oh boy.
I was right.
Like this. Okay, it's going to go. I priced it right aggressively because he wanted out.
Okay.
And so he agreed that I'd go a little bit below market so that I can like stimulate, offers.
Yeah.
So I call him like, hey, I'm going to be showing your condo this weekend. Please let the building know that I'm going to be coming through. Okay. He goes, I'm going to leave you the key fob so you can have access to all the amenities and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, okay, great. So here I am getting ready for my showing.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
And it's a condo. So it's not like we're like the multi-dollar properties that we have here that takes you like half an hour to set up.
Thousands of square feet. And we're like, you have to get there an hour ahead of time.
I need an hour and to get there.
Right.
Yes.
No, this was like, I'll be there 30 minutes before.
Totally.
Find parking, go up. Like it's
Oh my God, I just sold one downtown and I literally would arrive like 8 minutes before.
That's
literally
that's
because
what
it's
it
like
should take.
10 lights, run downstairs, meet the client, take him back up in the elevator, and you're good to go.
And that's what it should be, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, no. Welcome to my nightmare. So I
I'm
I get up there, I'm so excited, open the door. I'm like, and I walked, literally, I did a double take. I walked out and I looked at the apartment and I'm thinking, well, the key's working, but am I in the same condo?
No.
It was pitch black. All the shades were closed, everything.
I would have been like, is
I'm
somebody
like,
here?
Wait, hello? And then I started saying hello, calling his name, thinking, oh my gosh, did he oversleep? Like it's 10
Oh my God, is he dead?
Is he here? Are they sleeping? Like all this stuff went through and I'm like, okay, now I have 15 minutes to get ready. I get in, I start walking.
And it's dark, so you're not seeing everything.
So he had shade because of like all the sunlight coming in through this location. He had blackouts.
Okay.
So it was really dark walking in there.
Right.
I started opening up. And then as I started opening up, I'm looking around going, okay, let me see what else I need to do. And I'm like, wait, what? No. Like, did he have a party here last night?
No.
Then I was like, the house. Like, just imagine there was a hurricane that came through and just flipped the apartment upside down. Everything
was
just
shit everywhere.
Everywhere. That
like
was nothing.
Cups and glasses
Stephanie, that was at least if it was like junk to clean up and put away, I would be okay.
You could just like shove shit in a cabinet, right?
I get into I was okay. Well, I was like, let me go to the bathroom.
Oh no.
And then I'm like starting to walk. There were condoms everywhere. Condoms in the bathtub, coming on the floor.
In the
bathtub, on the floor. And then I was like, oh my God, what does the bedroom look like? I go in there.
No.
Literally, I wanted to vomit. Like, I had to go look into the kitchen and find a Ziploc bag so that I could pick up condoms that were obviously used. I had to pick everything up. I had a showing in 15 minutes. I was like, wait, this is not part of the job.
Someone is pranking me.
This is...
Are you, for everyone who thinks we have such a glamorous job, I want you to know this is what we sometimes deal with. This is yet to happen to me, but like, so he's not there.
No.
Is he trying to like flex for you? What is
like,
this? Because he knew you were doing a show.
Of course he knew I was doing a
And by the way, I know how you operate. It's not like you called him 5 days before and then just showed up like he forgot. You were probably like, hey, I'm on my way. Like, I'll let you know how it goes after. Of course
I always
you
do. And I just remind them, hey, don't forget we have a showing today.
Of
Please
course.
make sure like, you've...
Everything
not
is ready
there.
to go. And did he ever respond to any of those text messages?
Well, yeah. I'm out already. I'm at work.
Sir, how are you at work when it looks like a rock star just had a party at your house last night?
It was a rock star party. It must have been. I don't know.
Is there like alcohol and booze?
No,
just
condoms.
Condoms.
Condoms, alcohol for sure, but not
like other paraphernalia.
No, not alcohol. Panties. There were panties. Not one panty. Panties. Not one, but panties.
Oh my God.
And then I get into the master and it's everywhere.
By the way, Vince
upside
Crudo
down.
had a client like this here in La Jolla. Was it the same guy?
Oh
Maybe.
my gosh, I got to talk to Vince.
You got to ask Vince. Yeah, you need to ask him. I don't think he was picking up condoms.
Because
he left. He didn't even do the showing.
No, so I, of course, take one for the team. I start cleaning
people
everything
are on
up.
their way. What are you going to do?
What am I supposed to do 5 minutes before the showing? Text the agent and say, don't bring your client in because we have a pig living in the house.
100%.
Like, I'm sorry. So anyways,
so you're running through probably making beds.
Yeah, making beds.
Using
cleaning
plastic
house,
bags. At least you found plastic bags. Yes. My God. Oh.
found plastic. Thank God there was that in the house.
Yeah, because I would have got tongs out of the thing or something.
Mortified. By the time I got, I don't even know how I did the showing. I don't remember it. How about that? I don't remember.
I believe you.
Right.
Like,
and I'm just gonna say this for the record.
Oh my God.
The next several showings was not as bad because I did tell him one thing. I said, when I come to your home, your house needs to be cleaned. I'm not your maid. I'm not here to pick your
100%.
Yeah.
It is one thing if like
and
pillows
he
are out
wasn't
of
even
place.
mortified. I'd be mortified if I was the seller saying,
Did you say like, bro, I found condoms?
No. I was ladylike. I just said, please pick up.
I should probably take a
get there.
page out of your book. I would
You
have been like,
should have put like the Ziploc bag under his pillow
Oh
of
my
like all the condoms.
Oh, that would have been good.
on his
That would
pillow,
have been
not
good.
under his pillow, on his pillow.
Oh my God.
Be like,
It was-
take this,
it
mother.
was
I just picked up all your What?
Yeah, it was insane. I can't even imagine. But the next couple of showings were not as disgusting. But the beds were never done. The house was never like put together.
That's so bizarre that the
sell it,
first time,
but
of
I kept
course
on
you did.
cleaning it. Yeah.
But the first time that you met him and saw him, like, the house was clean.
It was
like,
perfect. It was in perfect condition.
I've walked into clients' houses and I've been like,
oh yeah,
right,
of course
this is going to be a doozy, right? Like you guys are quite
Just
messy.
because they're natural.
They're just
messy
naturally
people.
naturally a
messy.
mess.
And I am not.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I have OCD.
I
so
know.
could you imagine?
You and I are very similar in that way and
my
very
God.
clean and meticulous.
I mean,
and
you
so
see, like my listings, you know how
I know exactly how
they
they look. And yes. And it's just like, oh my God. Like I've walked in and been like, we're going to need to pick some of this up. You know what? Let me just put it all in a trash can.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Oh, I've done that where I have to like literally put my hand on the counter and just swipe it down into the drawers in the
you're
bathroom,
just like,
in the kitchen,
they're not gonna notice
or
anyway.
take all. You know, I keep on saying, don't clutter the kitchen counters.
Oh my God.
And I come there, and the juice maker is there, the toaster oven's there, everything is there,
is everywhere.
Cutters and boards and
No.
oh my God, like they can't even see they can't see the beautiful marble that's sitting under this
I
crap.
hate clutter on counters. Like I can't stand it.
I can't stand it. But it was that for me.
How long did it take you to sell?
A
Couple months.
No, it actually took me like under 30 days.
Okay, that's good.
But it was
That's
a desirable unit.
Yeah, so it was like the building, the
was.
location,
Yeah,
the type of layout or the unit or
Honestly,
whatever.
When they say location, it has a lot to do with
100%.
It really does.
Was
Can
there
you imagine?
condoms in the other cleanups? Or is this just like his
Yeah,
big-
was that the only time you found them?
No. The condom, yes, but the mess, no. It was like this on every showing.
Was he hot?
No.
I wish
I wish I could say yes, but no.
She's like, it's not even worth it.
It
Like,
wasn't. It wasn't. But
I can't even like think. Like,
Well, I'm
oh, he's
wondering
kind of
how
hot.
did he
What
get
did
all
he
these
do last
smells?
night?
I know. But you know what? Sometimes
like,
you
"You're
just bite-
disgusting."
You're disgusting.
Disgusting.
Well, I pity whoever is actually in a relationship with this person.
Where did he move? Out of state?
No, he's still somewhere in San Diego.
Did
but
you
God
sell him
knows-
something else or no?
No, he was going to move in. I think what he said was he was going to move in with his parents for a while to figure out where he wants to buy.
He's getting less attractive by the minute.
Yeah. And
wonder
before
if he
he
threw
buys
those
something
parties
else.
there.
So I don't know where he ended up like parking himself. And honestly, after
parents'
seeing
basement.
that, I did not want to have continue that. whole
No, because that,
relationship. Sometimes
honestly-
you need to know when to cut the ties.
100%.
That for me was like, hey, okay, I'm doing this because I'm a professional and I'm not going to quit on you. But like this was.
We've talked about
One
that
and
a
done.
lot, where it's sometimes like, because again, that person, that's a glimpse into who they are.
Yes.
And they are going to continue to suck your time.
Yes.
And they're going to continue to, it's just going to, it could snowball into something.
It does snowball.
And it becomes
does.
where when that one client is taking everything, or if they call and you have a pit in your stomach every time the phone rings, that's where I'm like, I'm not doing this. Because when you get rid of one, 4 more come along, you know?
And
it's just like not worth it.
It's not worth it's not worth it.
No.
And it was not worth the stress because at that point you're kind of gearing to go into a disaster every time you're
Right.
there.
100%. You're like, what am I
Every
going to
time,
find
like,
today?
What am I going to find today? Or what is it going to
Yeah,
be like?
that's
So like
emotionally
it
draining.
was draining.
Yeah.
And I just no.
And I like how you also said like the house needs to be cleaned up, but yet it never was.
It was never. Yeah.
Like,
Your
it's-
house
that's
needs-
also
So
just
I
straight
think
up
the way he
disrespect
was
to you.
that was the most that he couldn't do.
But you saw it. I wonder, did he have a cleaning person that came like once a month?
Yeah,
did.
probably.
So then you probably saw it the
Right,
day
the
after
day.
the cleaning person
Yes.
came,
Or
the
and
day
then he
of.
never.
So I actually, it's funny because it's been so long now.
Yeah.
You just sparked something. I did tell him, look, for this unit to show its best, it needs to show like the day I came here.
Yeah.
You got to have your cleaning girl come.
Have your cleaning lady come the day before.
Yep.
Because I don't just give you a 2-hour notice.
Right. It's like a day.
I've always worked with 24-hour notices.
Yeah. Yeah.
If not, if I have it even, it's 72 hours. If I get a call,
for sure,
getting scheduled in
right.
For sure.
immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have plenty of time to get somebody in there. It's a 2-bedroom condo.
Right.
Like 1,100 square feet. It's not that big of a deal to clean.
That is wild.
But like, I'm not there to do it for you.
No.
Well, again, it's disrespect to you. Like we are we are partners and in these deals.
But it's almost like, did he think that it was part of my commissions?
I
like,
know.
what?
He's like, oh, I need my house
she's
cleaned.
I'm already paying her fee for like selling it. I might as well clean it.
Some people have this weird distortion of what we actually do. And I'm here to tell you it ain't that. Like we are not your maid. We're not your punching bag.
Definitely
We are
not.
a partner in the deal. We are investing money into this. We pay for photos. We pay for the marketing. We're taking time away from our families to go and show your property. It is our job.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go to your doctor's office, or if your doctor made a house call, be like, oh, by the way, can you also clean up my, like, what?
Yeah,
No.
exactly. Like,
We're a little abused and,
Yeah.
you know, I could go off the box here, but I won't.
I know, trust me. That's
Anyway.
a whole
But part of this,
ballgame.
like, again, this has come up many times on this podcast of like talking about like what we go through. And like, I get so many DMs and like text messages being like, that really happened. Like, that's insane. I'm like, yes. Like, do you even understand what I'm saying? Like, yes, it happened.
Yes.
And worse than some. You know what I mean? Like,
there
it's
must be so many
wild.
stories like this. I'm sure I'm not the only one that has.
You're
like,
not.
these
I mean,
crazy
people, Vince
stories
had
like
one
this.
and we've had a couple. We've had a few, not a ton.
Yeah.
We've had a few that have, you know, or like Cam one time was in a deal and remember when they were pumping the septic and all those, and they found all the condoms.
And
He was cheating on his
wife and
flushing
like,
him down
found
the toilet.
Oh,
through the
my-
inspections.
Come on.
They're
They
like, it's
pumped
clogged.
they pumped the septic and found like hundreds of condoms.
Oh my God.
So they
that
got a
is-
divorce.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a must.
From,
I would also do a little something else, but
Yeah. Well,
Oh my. Yeah. Right.
hell no.
yeah.
would
He thought he
say
was getting away with it. And then
Oh no.
Can you believe?
Wow, no.
I know. Anyway.
Like find somewhere else to put your brother.
He's like, no, the toilet. This will be good. They'll never find it.
at least he was cleaning up after himself. I mean,
I mean, that is very true. He was not leaving them for you guys to then go in and pick them up with tongs.
Yeah. Seriously.
Wow.
It was.
Did you find drugs or anything?
That's
laying
so
around too.
No. No.
Interesting.
No. Alcohol, yes,
Yeah.
but not drugs. No.
And multiple panties.
And
Clearly he was
Multiple
you
things.
know, quite the
Yeah.
playboy.
yeah, who knows what kind of orgy was going on in there.
Gross, disgusting. What?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Who knows?
Oh my
well, I'm
God.
glad we didn't set you up with him.
Yeah, no, I'll pass.
No, I would never such.
I know you would never.
Hell
You would
no.
never.
Nuh-uh.
Betty and anyone Vince finds, Betty's gonna be like,
Not for Stephanie.
let me see this first. Let me meet him first.
Yeah.
No.
No.
What do you do for a living? How much do you make?
Yeah.
Do you clean up after yourself? Do you leave condoms out? Nope. Sorry. Pass.
Okay.
Yeah. Pass. Get out of here.
pass.
Hard pass. Get
Gone.
out. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Okay.
no.
Well, I know you have some other ones. So
Yeah.
which one do you want to go to next?
I don't know. Did
I'm
we do the
forgetting-
one about the like liability things that happen and when we close escrow?
Oh.
You mentioned something about that, and we've had
Yes.
other stories. I mean, we've even had on our
That was
team something.
actually
So get into
pretty-
this one.
Yeah, it was. I mean, beautiful home here at the shores. It was a very hard escrow from the beginning. It was not an easy deal to begin with.
This isn't the one that I walked into.
Yes,
It is that one.
it is. The
Oh,
one that you walked into.
Oh my God, I walk by those people all the time. But wait, you had the buyer. You were telling me. Okay.
I was. The
So after you
listing
tell this
agent.
story, I'll tell
I
my
was the
story.
I
Okay.
was the buying agent on
Okay.
that one. This is not. Don't mistake the condo in Little Italy with this.
Wait, okay, so on this one you represented, but
The buyers on
this one over
of the
here.
shores. Yeah.
And it's the one that I walked into. No.
Yeah, that's the one that you walked. You called
Okay.
me and you said, "Betty, the doors."
somebody's so I happened
Yes.
to walk by with my dog and I was like, this is a little weird. I call Betty and I'm like, the front door is wide open. She's like, what? And I'm like, no, like wide open. So
it became my listing.
because your
Because
guys
my
bought
buyers-
it and because that, by the way, that
we
house went
fixed and
through
we
all
flipped.
kinds of
Yeah.
like crazy permitting issues. I remember for
gosh.
years. Like that
For
place had
years.
a major
Years.
issues. So that's when she had it. So you can talk about, we'll rewind in a second, but I was like, Betty, stay on the phone with me. And I'm like with Gwen, who, by the way, if anyone has seen my dog, like that's her. She's not that scary. You know what I mean? Like she's not going to break down the door.
She's not going to break down.
So I'm like holding her because I don't want her to scratch the floors. There was still paper down, but everything was new. And I'm like, hello? And I'm like walking around. I'm on the phone with Betty and I'm like, nobody's here. And like back doors open, front doors open. No lights are on.
I believe it when she called me and told me this.
And I was like, is there a key? She's like, there's a key hidden. So I like ran and got the key and I'm like closing everything up. And I'm like, okay, it's secure now. She's like, oh my God, thank you so much. But like this street here in La Jolla is right by the beach. As you said, Tom, Dick, and Harry walks right by. All the beachgoers pass this house to go to the beach.
Yes.
So like anybody could have just walked in or thought it was on open house or like, and by the way, this front door is gigantic and beautiful. And it was,
oh, wow.
So the door is not like, it's not that size.
It was a beautiful
it's like
pivot
a double
door, actually.
It's beautiful.
Okay.
So it is wide open and you can see straight through.
Doing the remodel in there.
Yeah. You can see the living room. You can see out to the backyard. You can see everything.
Wait,
and I was like,
after your buyers bought it?
So
yes.
My buyers bought it.
Yeah. So start there. So you guys.
So we were on the buy side. Now
Initially
it was when I was on the buy side.
Okay.
And the listing agent and I were engaged to close this deal.
Who was being difficult? The
which
sellers?
was already difficult from the get-go to get things done because
the listing agent was great.
the listing agent was
We know him.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I love the listing agent, actually.
he's
I
great.
love him. He's a great guy.
He's been on this podcast actually, but
and
don't you guys wish you knew? Anyway, go ahead.
and I do. I love him very much. And anyways, so we were in this deal and it was a tough one because the seller, the wife and the husband were not on the same page.
Oh,
yeah.
Husband
Happens
wants
a
to
lot.
sell, wife doesn't want to. Like it was one of those.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah,
And
that's tough.
didn't have a choice, but they had to sell it.
They had to.
They had
because
to.
There were major issues for a long time on this property.
Do you know which property?
I do.
So you know,
yes.
like it goes.
I know the backstory. For years, there's been
years.
problems because they kind of.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yes,
keep going.
they did. Many major issues that my buyers had to,
Oh, I believe
take
it.
on
With the city.
with the city.
Yeah.
After the fact of buying it, but anyways,
So you go to close.
we go to close. It's day of close, and we're talking with the listing agent. Hey, are the stuff out? Like we've been telling, and it's not that it wasn't in his control. It was just, hey, did they pack? Hey, did they move? Hey, are they
Because you had obviously driven by, you'd been there, and like, there's no sign of movement.
even my buyers were like driving by it because they knew the amount of work they needed to put there. They wanted their contractor to start right away.
Right.
So they were waiting for as soon as the contractor
Get
would say,
keys, we're meeting them there, and we're getting going.
We're getting the project to start.
Yep.
Right.
And he was like, no, Betty, no, Betty. And it was like, no, it's not. They're not packed. No, they're not. There's not even. I said, I'm like, there's not even a truck there. What do you mean they haven't? There was no truck.
The day
yet
of
the
closing?
Yes.
And they lived there, right?
Yes.
We've had this happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the sweat that we sweated that day, but I'm going to tell you my hat's off to the listing agent. He literally rolled his sleeves up
And just like,
got a truck, got the moving truck there. Like he did what he had to do.
wow.
To get the
He's that
sellers
way.
out. He is that way. And he stands behind what he says. That's why I have great respect for him. And he literally packed, moved, took things multiple times out of the house.
What was the seller doing during this time while
because
he
the
is there
husband wanted
packing?
to. and
No,
then-
the seller him was somewhere, I don't know where.
What about
and
the
the
wife?
wife was
Like,
nowhere
no?
wanting
Sitting
to get
on the
out of
couch
house.
just like this while the listing agent's like
it-
literally packing
how
her
could
fucking
you, as a
kitchen.
person, like
it was
take that in?
was one of the craziest days because we literally got like recording, and they're still in the house.
They're like,
the
"Congrats, Betty."
liability.
They're like, you have confirmation, and she's like,
really? I don't want to hear that right now. I
'Cause
actually
now I have
wanted to call
tenants.
escrow and say, hey, hold off.
Yeah. 'Cause
Hold
you
off.
technically have tenants now.
Now I
because they're
have
not-
tenants.
Yeah.
in there.
Squatters.
So the liability.
Squatters.
What now?
Horrible.
literally a
you.
squatter at this point.
And it could have been that.
Yeah,
Could have
and
been
then-
that had it not been for the listing agent. It
Correct.
could have been that.
And if it was that, for anyone who knows, that's a whole nother can
that's
of
a
worms
whole-
because in California, it's very difficult
To get a
to get
squatter
tenants
out.
and squatters out.
Wait,
So-
I've moved like 15 times. It takes weeks.
Oh, they've had squatters, and like
Oh,
her
yeah.
husband has had to go to the city and be like, do you understand?
care.
They don't care.
They don't care to hear
don't care.
anything.
No, they're like, whatever. That's your
They
problem.
don't care.
They're
They
like,
don't
oh.
care that you need the money to pay rent. They
Oh,
don't
no.
care that you need to like.
They're like, don't you have other
sustain-
properties? I'm
Yeah.
like, no,
No.
we're a mom
No.
and pop shop here.
This is it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, we don't have anything more. This is it.
And it was inhabitable.
Okay, so let's talk about the liability for a second.
Yes.
If, let's just say, she decides not to leave and she decides to cook dinner and catches the house on fire.
Or on purpose.
Well, the liability.
We've had stories about that too.
Liability is not on her anymore.
Nope.
It's on my
She no longer owns it.
It would have been on my. She could have done anything to that house.
Anything.
And you know what?
That is terrifying.
It would be
That's so scary.
my buyer's issue at that point.
Yeah. It's kind of like, that's why we tell
why-
buyers, like, so when we have a house that's vacant and they're like, can I start some work? I'm like, absolutely not. Are you insane?
Hell no.
No.
Oh, could I just move some stuff in the
No.
garage?
No. And
No.
how many, we've heard stories
no.
years past where that has happened. Buyers have been like in a pinch. They've moved stuff into the garage.
Yeah.
Lightning hits the house catches on fire. All their stuff is gone. It's like,
And whose
guys,
fault is it now?
guys, like, no, you cannot.
Yeah, no is a hard no. And
Hard no.
So the rookie agents that like want to be nice and
Yeah.
they're like, let me
I got
ask,
asked recently and I was like, I know you're not asking me this.
like go
No.
back to
I'm going to
class.
act like I didn't hear any of this
Yeah.
and I'm going to talk to you later. The answer is no. And I hung
And
up.
trust me, your
Like,
broker is not going to want to hear
No.
this. Your broker is not going to want to know
God.
any of this.
well, you know, a
Any
lot of
of
times
this.
it's like a no name
yeah.
brokerage and you're just like, can you join a different, you need some training. Okay.
Well, you need some serious training.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't learn this
That's like the biggest thing
is
to
a
learn.
big, like
Can we
liability.
go back to the real estate test? Can we not learn how many square feet are in an acre? Because I've never quoted that to anybody and actually learn about liability. We do learn about ethics and like, you know, discrimination. Sure.
Yes.
But we need to learn a little bit more anyway.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
So
That's
he
insane.
worked really hard.
So he basically, let's bring it back.
Yeah.
He basically got the moving truck, got everything moved out in a day or two, right? And got them out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like,
when were they
Yeah.
finally out? That
I'm
day?
sorry?
When were they finally out?
it took a couple days, didn't it?
It took like, you know what? I'm gonna have to go back and visit that. I'm gonna have to talk to him about this.
We
and
should ask
visit
him.
this story.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was intense. I don't
did you
think it
sleep at
happened.
night?
I don't think it happened that
She
same
didn't
day.
sleep that night, I can tell you
Yeah,
that.
None of us
no.
slept that night, and the
No.
buyers were
Losing their minds,
losing
I'm
it
sure.
because this is not their first rodeo. They bought several properties.
Yes,
So they know what
know.
can happen.
They know what can happen.
So they're
and
not
they
just
were-
pissed off because they wanted to move
No.
right in.
And
Because
they
again,
knew
it needed
wasn't-
work.
It
It
wasn't in
needed
our-
work.
They knew what like
That it wasn't in your control.
it wasn't in
right.
our control.
Right.
And that the listing agent was doing everything in his
Right.
control to try
But
to get
still,
it.
it's so
But
stressful for everybody because again, they
It
know
wasn't
what could have
his job
happened.
to do.
He's like that though,
It
and I
wasn't his
appreciate
job to
that
do, and
about
I
him.
really
Yeah.
appreciated what he did, and
Yeah.
my buyers appreciated it. We all appreciated it, but I know for a fact that deal probably he sweated some 50 pounds off because
He's had a couple of those, man. He came on and told a couple doozies himself. Like I was
Yeah.
just like, wow.
yeah, and he's come a long way too. I'm so
Yes,
proud of
it's-
him.
Oh my god.
I love
That
seeing
listing recently.
success
I know.
like that.
I do
I
too.
just love it.
I do too. Behind the Lockbox is sponsored by Property Showcase Group. Property Showcase Group has a team of creatives, directors, producers, editors, marketing specialists, and designers that work in tandem to tell and share stories of the built environment. Whether you're looking for full-service production or simply just need content creation, Property Showcase Group can help take your business to the next level. To learn more or to contact Property Showcase Group to schedule a consultation, you can find them at propertyshowcasegroup.com. That's spelled PROPERTYSHOWCASEGROUP.com. PropertyShowcaseGroup.com.
I love to see people like grow in this business.
Yeah.
It gives me great pleasure. I love training people, so I train my staff, my buying agents, my team. I love working their deals and helping them with their deals, and like they have some crazy stuff going on in their deals too. So it's such a great pleasure to watch agents grow
All of that.
in this business. Oh my gosh, that scared me.
Damn it, it's my coffee machine. It
gosh.
just like jumped and scared Betty up to die. Okay, so I didn't put it to sleep, and after 5 hours, it rinses itself and then goes to sleep. Sorry, I know. Eve was like, "Huh, what was that?" Our videographer. Oh my god.
Oh my.
Well, everyone, I got a fancy coffee machine, and it
You
puts
sure
itself
do.
puts itself to sleep, and I did not do
that's
that.
okay.
Anyway, so everyone can hear it going off right now. Sorry,
Wait,
Betty, didn't
that's
mean to
okay.
scare you.
Speaking of people that used to work for you, you had a story on that.
You did.
Like 10 years ago, somebody that used to work for you.
Oh, yes. Actually 12 years.
So even like
probably
longer.
than
okay.
that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that that could have costed me my listing and everything else had I not been close to the seller, like close. You know, like you have some clients that are like friend clients.
Sorry, this fucking coffee machine in the background is like click, click. I don't know if it's going to pick it up on the sound, but anyway. Okay, I think it's done now. Okay. So anyway, it could have, so you didn't tell us everything that happened, but like this person obviously was in your team.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he was on our team. And God knows how many times this has happened and not gotten caught doing it.
Oh God. I'm scared.
Agents, be very careful. I'm just telling you.
I like that she looks in the camera. She's like, agents, be very careful.
Because it happens, and I'm sure it's happening, and it still probably could happen. It's just, oh my gosh.
People get stupid.
People are not stupid, but it was a vacant listing.
Okay.
And we had several vacant listings.
So many, especially when they're staged and vacant and whatever. You do a lot of them because you design them and you have work with developers
and market. And my business, 90% of it are investors.
Okay.
So a lot of my properties that are put on market are going to be vacant.
Beautifully staged and vacant.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I had no clue that, and I still till today don't know. And I never asked. All I did was fire him. That's it. I said, give me all my keys.
It doesn't matter. I don't even know where you're going with this. And it sounds like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, oh God.
Yeah. It was one of those. I get a call from the seller.
Oh boy.
So where should I start on this one?
Okay. Well, you just said it was staged and vacant, but you got a call from the seller, which means the seller caught him?
Yeah. So the seller caught him. Yeah. And the seller called me. This is on a Friday night. I could see how much I can remember certain details because
it's like coming back to you, like
it's
flooding
back to me now.
Oh God. Okay.
So it's Friday night. It's like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And
to get a call from any client at 10 o'clock at night is very rare.
It's rare unless there's like a deal going down and they can't sleep.
Right.
They want to talk through it.
Or they have a random
questions.
question. Right. It happens.
They're waking up or they're sweating about something or have a last minute question on the file or whatever.
Right.
I mean, it does happen, but
yes.
This house not on a vacant listing where we have not gotten an offer yet. So it was kind of weird
why is he
to
calling
get that call.
Yeah.
So so I get on the call and I was like, hey, how's it going? How are you? He goes, not so well. I have someone here in my house and I'm thinking,
oh my God.
I think he's talking about his personal home. I wasn't thinking.
You're like, sir, call 911 if someone's holding you hostage.
But why is he calling? In my brain, it's like, why is he
if you have someone in your house,
like somebody in my house?
You're like, what can I do?
And I was like, is everything okay? Like,
what do you mean?
What do you mean? There's somebody in your house. He goes, well, he belongs to you. And I'm like, he belongs to me. He goes,
you're like, I have two girls. I don't
have a son.
Yeah.
It's like, he belongs to me. He goes, well, he works for you because he said he works for the Tash team. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I right away, it dinged on me. Like, who else could it be? It has to be like,
this one particular gentleman.
Yes. That works for the team. And he goes, well, I just caught him in the house. This is in La Jolla, Mount La Jolla.
Okay.
It was happening in Mount La Jolla. Yeah. And
caught him in the house.
Yeah, caught him in the house. Well, caught him in the house taking photos. Photography.
Like sex?
You know, he didn't say so. I'm hoping that maybe
was anyone else there with him?
Well, there was people there. It was mostly girls.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I was like,
so he's like videoing them or taking photos or whatever.
The whole house was lit up. And there was probably is starting at 9:30 was early. Like had he gotten there maybe at 11 o'clock at night,
like nobody would have known.
No, maybe more.
But a neighbor could have. But a neighbor could have.
But a neighbor because the neighbors knew that house was vacant.
Of course,
they probably
and for sale.
And for sale, the neighbors know. So like, I will never forget that call because
I'm shocked that he stayed
I got into my car. No, he left.
He took off. Like
he took off very quickly.
I'm sure, especially when he got on the phone.
When the seller says you need to pack your stuff and get out, you don't have. This is what the thing was. Is like he thinks that I gave him permission.
Oh my God.
To do a photo shoot at his home.
No.
at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night
with girls.
With girls. Like, wait, what?
You're like, what kind of team do you think I'm running here?
What do you think? I'm not running an orgy here.
Yeah. I'm not running a brothel.
A brothel. Yeah, seriously. Prostitution. God knows what it was doing in there, and taking photos of what? Who knows? It could have also been innocent for like photography for a magazine. But
if it was, then he would have asked you.
He would have asked
me. And it wouldn't have been 10 o'clock at night. And it wouldn't have been with a bunch of chicks. And then he would have been like, hey.
And I would have said, look, I got to ask the seller. It could be an emotional piece for us too. Like if it's something that makes sense.
And some would be down for that, a seller. But
of course.
Yeah. I don't even go into my own listings and do a video or photos without the seller knowing that I'm coming. Of course. When it's I'm like, hey, we're going to do a listing video. I'm going to do a property walkthrough. No orgies are happening.
Yes.
Maybe sadly, maybe not. I don't know. But like, you know what I mean? Like there's not like, you still let them know, hey, this is when I'm going to be here.
Exactly.
Because it's not your house.
It's not your house.
What was his excuse?
Yeah. Oh, well, did you call him right then? What happened?
Oh my gosh. Of course I called him. Oh my God. I called him and I told him to meet me because I ran up the hill. I live like 7 minutes away.
You're here in La Jolla. Yeah. Right.
So I ran up the hill.
Did you go by yourself?
I did. Because the seller was there. The seller was there.
I don't want to be on that side of you. I'm just saying. Like,
I was so astonished that anybody can do such a thing.
Especially working for you guys.
Well, I know that's like on you.
Like, and you know, it is on us.
Yes. It's your reflection. It's your reputation. Like the seller doesn't know what's going on.
So
and you had no idea he was like this?
The seller could have, no. The seller could have totally gone to the brokerage.
Oh,
would have happened to us.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we're just not.
He could have also pressed charges
for 23 years.
Yeah.
So like
he could have pressed charges too.
Of course, you're not allowed to go because the house is vacant. We don't own the property.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. So, and you know, this is the conversation I had with him. How dare you? After everything and all the training we've done for you, are you out of your mind? You know the liability.
Did he say anything?
He was so apologetic. He cried. Like he was so upset. I'm like, give me all my keys, all of it right now. You cannot go back to the office. Give me all your keys.
Yeah.
I will ship your stuff.
You're not even coming in. No, you're not coming to get your shit at all.
Because he was a showing agent. So he had access to all of our properties. Imagine we have.
Do you know if he did any others?
We know how.
He for sure did. He for sure did.
But you know what? I surely thought, how many other homes did he do this in?
Yeah.
At that point,
did he have like social media or anything?
Yeah, I know.
Were you able to ever find anything?
You know, at that time there wasn't social media.
I mean,
like
not
now.
like now when it's like 12 plus
like
years
this.
ago. No, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
No. So what the hell was he using it for then?
Thank you. What was he using?
That's so weird.
So like
something else.
There's something else that he was doing. I don't know. I don't want to say anything because I don't know.
Yeah.
And at that time, again,
was the seller like obviously upset, but was he like, I get it, Betty, like thank you for coming up, or was he mad?
He knew that this has nothing to do with us because he knows our level of professionalism.
Right.
But I'm so happy that it was him walking into there.
Yeah, not another client.
And that he was.
Yeah, because who knows? Was he also doing it during the day?
Well, we don't know.
You'll never know.
How would we know?
You'll never know.
How would we know? We're so busy out there doing the grind work.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
trusting the people that you hire on your team.
So ever since that incident, every person that we've hired moving forward with that, there were systems put in place. Like, there's no permission of entry for any of these properties.
Who would have thought you would have to say that?
I know.
You know, I'm right.
It's like the most.
So I've kept all the keys. I do not give keys out anymore. That's why there's a lockbox now.
Yep.
And it's coded. It's not with the Sentry lock. It's a code.
We actually don't use the Sentry boxes either. We just use codes.
I put combo codes because it's for me, myself, and I.
Yeah. Right.
And
that's what we did.
And only when if I can't make that showing, because 99% of the time I like to be at every single showing.
Me too.
I don't send people out for those showings. I want to meet the agent, meet the client.
Same. Right.
Because I got to report to the sellers.
100%.
Right. And you have to sell the property
and I have to sell the property.
So funny. I just had a client be like, why do you have to be here? And I'm like,
excuse me?
Don't you want? They're like, well, if it were me, I wouldn't want the listing agent lingering. And I'm like, yeah, that's not what I'm doing.
Well, you're not lingering. You're just.
No, but it's funny.
Who knows the house better than the listing
That's
agent?
Right.
And
it's not the buying agent that's going to sell the
This
home.
was my
It's the
seller.
listing agent.
This was my seller. And I was like, guys, I need to, don't you want me to? listen, I don't want to drive all the way out here either. But like,
takes over. I normally, when I come in with a buyer, I always ask the listing agent.
I'm like, show us around.
Yes.
Because
show us around.
I've looked up stuff
about the home. Please educate my buyers.
When you're by yourself, does your buyer not be like, does it have solar? Does it have this? When was this built? What was this? And I'm like, this is in my listing. Like if it's not in the MLS,
we don't know those. We have to ask those questions.
100%, which is fine to do. And I usually try to preemptively call the listing agent. I'm like, because how often are we doing showings by ourselves? Like listing agents don't, it doesn't happen,
But sometimes you're doing like 5. Well, you can't
can't
memorize all 100%. That stuff,
and I usually try to take notes and write stuff down.
Right.
And of course, all my buyers are always like, hey, follow up, let me know. They're cool with it. But it's like when the listing agents are, they're like, do you want to I'm like, yeah, no, you do your job. Like you take us around. You know what I mean? Like, and so that's what I do is I show the entire house. Do you guys have any questions? And they're like, I don't think so. I'm like, okay, I'm going to step outside. Right. You guys take your time. And then I release them to sit in it and like feel. And sometimes they're like, no, we're good. And they leave. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they want, and that's when I give the space. But that's our job. Like I want to show it and I want to sell the property, why you want to be here. Like you're selling the dream of living in here. Like the smell, like I'll light a candle. Like it's all the things that matter. Right. You want the buyer to envision themselves there. Putting it on lockbox and now look, there's a time and a place for that. 100% agree. Not always. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if it's a complete tear down and fixer,
not in the homes that we're showing.
No. And I run the gamut with what I do. And so I've had some listings where it is definitely like not, they know what they're getting, but it's still though, it's only when I can't make it that I'll put a lockbox there just in case, because it's like a complete tear down. But even on the teardowns that we've had down here in the shores,
it's still
because why? I need to sell the size of the lot, what you can do on this lot, what you could do here. Can you build up? Are there CC&Rs? There's so many things that go into it. Again, if it's a little tiny condo downtown, and like for my downtown one that I just closed recently, I was in Turks and Caicos for my birthday. A couple times. By the way, everybody knows and they're so sick of me talking about it, but it was so fun. No. But I a couple times was like, it was a Redfin or whoever. And I'm like, here's the lockbox. Go ahead and go in. It's fine. And then I would send a teammate to be like, either they would go show for me, or I'm like, can you go double check and make sure this is locked up tight?
Yeah.
But that's the other thing. Things don't get locked. Things are left open.
Or light gets left open.
What if it catches fire?
And the sellers go by. Believe me, sellers go by.
Yeah, they do.
Want to make sure you're locking up the house correctly.
100%.
Lights are off because they're not living there, and the electricity's running.
Yes. Yeah. Or the AC is left running for days.
And they find the weirdest little thing. You're like, how did you even
I know. So it's just, I know there are probably some agents that are like, oh my God, you're right. But like, I'm too much of a control freak. Like I want, and also that is what they're paying me to do.
Right.
Like I'm earning that commission just like anyone else would, And so it's just important.
It's exactly
I think.
Correct. But, actually, to have a showing and have the listing agent present is
it's crucial. I think
needed.
Yes.
So needed. Yeah. Because at that moment, when your buyer's asking a question, you have an answer.
Right.
And it's not like, let me get back to you, because
then maybe they get over it.
They get over it. They walk out of that door. Once they walk out of the listing and they go to another property, it's almost like they're not going to revisit this right away.
Yeah.
But when you have all that information and data, they have it and they know it.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. And so there's a listing that we have in East County right now, and none of us could be there Sunday. Like literally everybody was like busy with buyers, and my seller was like, just let them go in, please. Like I want them. And sure enough, they like spent like 45 minutes there. But let me just tell you, I called that listing or the buyer agent and I was like, get a pen. Here is everything you need to know. And then I basically called her back and I said, what questions do they have? FYI, I'm sending you renderings for the pool. I have this. And she was like, oh my God, wow. And I was like, well, had I been there, you would have gotten all this. And my seller, we have brochures with everything they've done to the property, when it was done. She sent me a photo of what she left on the counter for them. Like if I can't be there, these people are getting the information. You know what I mean? Like they are getting it. And so again, it's just, it's job security.
It's job security.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Job security.
It's important. So.
It is important, but it's also important for us as professionals in this industry that we're delivering a service that is here.
Mm-hmm.
Not here or here.
Yep.
But it's part of it.
And especially with everything going on right now, I mean,
I know.
Lawyers and doctors aren't come after in this way. You know what I mean? And like we, again, are partners in the deal, especially when you're on the listing side. Again, you're paying for the photos, you're paying for the marketing.
We don't get paid until anything sells, so it's out of pocket.
How many times have we said it?
Time.
It is 100% out of pocket. And if it doesn't sell,
it's still out of pocket.
Yep. That money's gone.
That money's gone. gone.
People are shocked when they hear this, by the way. And they're like, wait.
And that's why it's shocking that other people want to get into our pockets all the time. There's nothing to get into. By the time you're done with taxes and replenishing
and everyone you're paying
funds that
on
you've
your
spent,
team
and
your assistants, your TCs
everything.
and whatever. And by the way, happy to pay for the help. And we are at brokerages who give us a lot in return.
Yeah.
You're with a very, very good brokerage who has been around for years and years and years. We're with Compass. And, you know, everyone's like, oh, you should go to like these brokerages that like take 0%. And I'm like, yeah, but what are they offering me? Yeah. Like the support that I get, we talked about this last week on an episode because we had a Compass agent on, and she happens to know our agent experience manager, Des. Love him. I'm on a text, hey, Steph, hey, his name is Desmond, but I call him Des. Like I will text him in a fucking panic. 10 seconds later, it's done. That is what I'm paying for. Yeah. So it's like, but people don't understand. 8% here, exactly 8% like here, 10% here, 20% there, 5% here.
We have people at 10 seconds that answer text messages, calls on any emergency level.
And we're operating at such a high level and a rapid pace that like we need those answers. You know what I mean? Like we need people to respond that quickly because we're moving that quickly. And so I'm so appreciative that they do because it's important. Like we need that for our jobs. But going back to the money, like people are like, oh, you just turn on lights and get like a $40,000 paycheck. And I'm like,
oh my God, what?
That's cute. That's cute.
That's cute.
That's
Why don't
cute.
you come and work 140 hours a week
and clean up condoms
and clean up
condoms and then work for a listing that at some point when it finally sells, you're in the negative because of all the marketing you spent, all the hours you spent. If we added up what we really would charge per hour,
per hour taxes that we pay.
What is it like?
Higher bracket.
And also, there's also self-employment tax in California is like what, 15%?
Yeah.
I mean, he knows we're paying. Eva's over here shaking his head. We're paying damn near 40% in taxes. Yeah. Like it's insane.
Yeah, yeah.
So
we work 24/7.
24/7.
It is 24/7.
And look,
people don't understand our job.
They don't.
What it really
Am
is.
I grateful? Yes.
I love.
I was just talking to my mom the other day, and I was like, I could never go back to a corporate job. I couldn't do it. I will do this forever, and the emotion and the roller coaster is up and down.
Stephanie, you could try to get out. You're not gonna.
It's got a hold on me, and we're like sick with like how much we love it. Somebody the other day was like, "Are you gonna really take that deal?" And I'm like, yeah. Glutton for punishment. I'll take any deal. Don't care. Hate it, but we love it. We're a little sick in the head, but like it's good for people to understand. Like we love this, and especially agents like you and I. And there are a lot of us out there who will work. I'll do it. I mean, I actually have closed 4 or 5 deals this year. I'm talking to every single one of them that have already closed, and they're like, "I'm so sorry to bother you again." I'm like, guys,
you're not bothering.
I'm here. Like, what can I do? Or they're like, this person isn't responding, and within 10 minutes, and they're like, holy shit. Okay, thank you. You know, it's like we're here, and so we're here for the life of it, and it's I love that part of it. But we need rush. I do too. I know this is why we're sick. You could never. You could. Cam does this all the time. Like she could never. She'll be like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not okay." And the next day, I'm like, "Everything is great."
I know, like you guys stress me out.
It's the rush. Honestly, it's the rush of like it's a roller
coaster, but it is the best roller coaster. But I want people to understand what they're getting and what they're paying for, and you get what you pay for with certain agents and certain brokerages. And
absolutely.
Look, AI and robots and the Redfins of the world who take 1% they're not going to replace us. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You need us. We need the humans. We need the interaction, and we need each other to do. And that's the other thing that I really love about this podcast is you were asking me about a guest that left previously. Yeah. And I was like, I literally met her at one of my other listings in Caravan. It's brought, and we've known each other for years now, but it's brought so many people into the circle where I'm like, when I see them on a listing, I'm like, yes, like it's making a new network of friends. And like, yes,
you know, that's
we're
and
working
we want
together.
To do this. Yes. Networking is needed.
We want to do business with each other.
It's not just when we're going to Reba and caravans and open houses and showings.
Right.
We forget we're also human.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We're
and
human.
we want to work together. We're on the same side.
And deals get closed
because
of relationships.
100%.
Right.
And we know those deals.
And don't you lean into when you have a buyer and you're like, oh, I know the agent, let me call. And they're like, oh my God. Like, not only does it look good on us because they're like, wow, you know everybody. But it's the truth because we're putting out the time. It does help.
It does help.
I have so often got my lower offer accepted because that agent knew that I was going to close and that I'm easy to work with. I'm communicative and I do what I say I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And that is everything.
It is, especially in today's market where
it's a tough market.
It's a tough market, and buyers on a flip of a dime change their minds. Like when you're a listing agent, you want to make sure that you're partnering up with a closer.
Right.
And on the buy side, I'm really having those conversations of like, look, you know, because I had something happen recently, and this buyer, they were great, but they were like, hey, you know, I've told the story recently. It was the deal that I closed with John Selby a couple months ago. And they were dealing with a trust, and, you know, they listen to this podcast, so I love them so much, but they were really having a hard time with their trust and the trustee. And like, you know, we basically sat down and had a conversation, and I just said, look, your trustee is asking me to ask for a price reduction of like $200,000, or it was just something. And I was like, I won't do it because it's my reputation. And they were like, we don't want you to do that. They were so understanding, but I was like, you have to understand that, like, so you also need to try to get control of the deal and control of the client in a good way, in a way of like, and I empowered them to talk to their family and talk to the trustee. And the next day they were like, okay, we're allowed to make the decision now. And I'm like, yes, you are. And we got it done. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it was like, you need to be able to have those clients and the confidence in yourself as the agent to have those conversations with your clients and really let them know. And sometimes we've all fired clients before. It's toxic, and you're like, you know what? I'm just not the broker for you. I'm not the broker for you, and it's okay. Yeah. That's okay.
I've had to fire a few in the last several years. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because and you really don't have the bandwidth.
No.
With everything you're taking on right now to deal with something like that. No, you don't. And so it's none of us do. You really don't. And so it's just like when you work so hard like you do, and when I work so hard like I do, like it's just not worth it. So
it's not worth the stress that you're putting into because the daily grind that we do is already stressful enough.
Yes. Right?
And the hours that we put, and hours and endless hours. We were talking about this outside, like, I need to eat and I don't.
Yeah. Like, she was like, I ate lunch. I'm like, I did too today. We're so proud of ourselves for eating.
I'm so excited I had lunch today. She's like, why? This should not be an excitement. This should
shouldn't be. But I was like, I ate too.
Right? And it's not. I had food today.
My mom will call me. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, eating lunch. She's like, it is 3:30 p.m. I'm like, listen, lady, I just came up for air. Like, you know what I mean? It's just been nuts. Yes. Oh, yeah. It's been nuts. So I know.
It's continuous. Our job is continuous.
It is. I'm grateful.
I love, but that's the thing. We love what we do. Yeah. If we didn't love what we do, we wouldn't be sticking.
Oh, there's no way I would stick with this if I didn't love it. You got to love it.
It's not that it's hard.
It's very hard.
Very hard.
And it takes years.
I mean,
you're wearing a lot of hats in this job.
Yes.
You have to.
Yeah.
Like, we're not just realtors.
You're therapists. Yeah.
We're therapists. We're friends. We're sisters and mothers to people. Like, we're guiding them through purchases of a lifetime.
Yeah. Like their biggest purchase.
With their biggest purchase, with their money.
And you have to know all that stuff too that goes into it all. And they want to
make sure where they're parking their money, and trust, that relationship of trust is needed.
It's needed for sure
to do what we do.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And please remember to follow, like, subscribe, share, all the things, right?
Yep.
We love you so much. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks.
Bye. Thanks for listening. Behind the Lockbox is produced and edited by Property Showcase Group. If you like this podcast, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, or review this podcast. Thanks for your support. See you next week.